These are frequently lovely unconventional. It bodes well. You don't search out distinction since you need to mix in with the group and go undetected. On the off chance that that were the situation, they'd deal with a Chili's in Akron, not play spruce up Imagine professionally or commit their lives to getting sports balls to go in stick-mounted bins. So it's nothing unexpected, at that point, that VIPs will in general mirror their characteristics onto their homes. With the mixed bag of messianic and conspiratorial babble that Kanye regurgitates, you simply realize he doesn't hit the sack in a functional two-room in a calm, rural parkway. No, he would totally must have a home that makes is a very remarkable assertion as he does. Furthermore, in any event, for the celebs not exactly at Kanye's degree of strangeness. Their interesting existences of abundance and consistent public investigation are essentially ensured to come off on their home life. This had prompted some genuinely bewildering choices in plan. Which power responses from giggling to choking. Here are 10 of those big-name homes whose insides make you question if cash really purchases joy, or just franticness. The unparalleled Oprah used to possess a home in Telluride, Colorado. Taking a gander at the wonderful stonework house with its impressive open yard and treetop walkways, it would appear to not have a place on this rundown. In any event, peering inside gives a similar impression. The vast majority of the home's rooms are moderate, composed, and flaunt a genuine talent for excellent yet friendly plan. At that point there's the wine mine. I rehash. The wine mine. Oprah's home has a wine basement worked to seem as though a real mineral mine. The dividers are normal stone and square lumbers set up the roof. The lights glint to copy past love interest lamps. A sound framework plays mining feel, including the normal crashing of pickaxes. Yet, one element beats them all, the genuine, working mining truck that Oprah can ride into and through the basement. At the point when you balance the wine mine with the remainder of the house, you're compelled to think about how conceivable it is that, while going over the house's arrangements with her project workers, Oprah may have really been had briefly there by the phantom of an old-fashioned miner who passed on while deploring his moderation. This isn't political. Love him or disdain him, the person simply has no clue about what elegant plan implies. Here are some different words missing from his jargon. Highlight, subtlety, insignificant, free, warm, and agreeable. His home in Trump Tower makes the point all alone. Where a typical human may add gold trim or a sprinkling of dull marble to choose furniture to make an air of extravagance, previous President Trump has picked an alternate system. A few rooms are gold everything with gold accents, gold plans across them, and brilliant lighting, simply on the off chance that another shading snuck through someplace. Obviously, Mr. Trump displayed the rooms after the notorious Palace of Versailles. However, on the off chance that the Palace of Versailles resembles an artistic creation, Mr. Trump's house resembles a material shrouded in a solidified hill of monochromatic paint. In the event that I had prepared for this one, I wouldn't have blown each one of those sweet meals on Bella Thorne. Teen YouTuber, artist, and human light bright Jojo Siwa has her own home that I accept can be found between the Lollipop Woods and Licorice Lagoon. Inside, the neon and candy printed dividers encase a secret stash of youth dream things. These incorporate a day-to-day existence size, rainbow-maned unicorn, a total snack bar straight out of a 90s time AMC, a functioning hook game, a few treats buffets, and a progression of sparkling life-sized models all through that make it look as though Shiva had caught Gem and the holograms in carbonite and showed them as prizes. Alright. I was too cruel on the Downeys. I'll compensate for it being considerably harsher on Dr. Phil's wannabe performer child Jordan McGraw. His previous home welcomes you with a lobby whose railings are shrouded in models of winding limbs that loom over a little bar whose plan style can best be summed up as Santorini meets Satan. The remainder of the house is actually no more excellent, with its sparkling gold backdrop, softened cowhide everything, and divider measured workmanship piece of arranged dissolving weapons. There's an odd, bronze Mickey Mouse sculpture, by one way or another purposeful paint splatter on the floors, and most creepily, an assortment of cutesy bear figures all through. It gives you the feeling that the youngster could utilize a specialist. In the event that solitary he knew a genuine one. One of Robert and Susan Downey's few houses is known as the Windmill House. It does, truth be told, have an implicit windmill, however within is the thing that truly catches consideration. There's an old precept that a camel is a pony drawn by advisory group. All things considered, the Windmill House is a fair-looking home drawn by board. Each room is so near being elegant. And afterward joyfully tears that fulfillment away. It's the front room that shows this more than some other. The dull, olive-green chimney lies under a lilac and gold dirt painting of fish. To the quick right of the painting is a conflicting yellow shell Silverstein-esque work of art of a youngster that apparently gathers cut-off heads. And to the prompt left a similarly conflicting 70s comic book-style painting of a firearm-hauling warrior unwinding on a hypothetically emblematic divider. Obviously, Susan utilizes the space to ponder, and one can just accept the divider assists with clearing her brain by being so noisy it muffles her musings. Entertainer, performer, and grown-up entertainer-ish, Bella Thorne has gained notoriety for being somewhat out there, both expertly and her own life. Her home doesn't effectively disprove this. Watch the video, and some other, and you'll comprehend. The entire spot is splendid, uproarious, and turbulent. I've chosen to really catch its embodiment with a meal. Here goes. The spot seems as though Kesha ate an entire box of fruit roll-ups and vomited out a loft. It would appear that the red light district in there, if each escort was moved by Basquiat's apparition. The spot seems as though Andy Warhol was constrained at gunpoint to plan a house, however the firearm just fired vape smoke. It would appear that the preliminary attempt for Sherwin-Williams' new paint line, MC Hammer Surprise. You get the thought. NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. charged a custom 1800s Wild West town as an augmentation of his home. An entire town, which he named Bourbon River. There's a church, a cantina, a latrine, a trade, a sheriff's office, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. That is unquestionably surprising, yet it's not difficult to get behind somebody understanding an honest youth dream. The insides lose you. A few structures highlight bona fide, old Western insides. A few, similar to the cantina, utilize their vintage outsides to conceal present-day, working diversion spaces. Somewhat slaughters the dream, however okay. Still a few, similar to the latrine, are simply unfilled shells, implied, I surmise, as a joke. That is the rub. that somebody went to all that difficulty and went through all that cash to make their dream a reality, and afterward halted part of the way through. Eventually, Dej took a gander at it and thought, nah, a large portion of a fantasy is sufficient. Say what you need about Michael Jackson. At any rate, when he assembles a dream town on his property, everything really works. I want to clarify this one. Eventually, a high-level extraterrestrial society reached previous supermodel Christie Brinkley and requested that her list the total of human culture for them in one spot. She picked her family room. This house isn't especially silly and doesn't make them bring together idea like others on this rundown. It's simply a ton. Brinkley is to divider emphasizes what hoarders are to old piles of Time magazine. Numerous rooms of her house are totally covered with adornment and furniture. In certain spots, designs are stacked on each other just to fit 'em all in. Furthermore, none of them cooperate. She has guitars close to shells, close to white segments, close to cheetah print, close to Victorian tintypes, close to characteristic stone, close to Chinese lamps. Penn Jillette is a splendid entertainer, and his various different appearances in film and TV exhibit his insight, excitement, and expressiveness. He's likewise somewhat insane. Candid on his political and strict perspectives, Jillette has on occasion constrained crowds to pose the inquiry: would he say he is acceptable insane or awful insane? Fortunately, his home, nicknamed the Slammer, addresses the inquiry. He's downright, all-around insane, and it's acceptable. The external resembles a larger-than-usual McDonald's play pit, and within, considerably stranger. Passageway and exit are cultivated by fire shaft. Traveling through the house, you'll experience counterfeit crime locations, sex prisons, and an immense exhibit of odd trinkets. These reach from a painting that peruses, at some point, you will kick the bucket. Get going, to genuine human skeletons. Most conspicuous is the sculpture in his middle room, a monster, pink, four-furnished asking mantis in a cowhide collar, suitably named the Atheistic Buddha of Vegas. The late, incredible Dick Clark was known to and adored by millions for his time facilitating American Bandstand and the many years spent as America's most famous New Year's host. However, underneath all the appeal, the cherished TV character had a clouded side. I allude to, obviously, his unbridled love of exemplary 60s kids shows. In particular, The Flintstones. Clark had his multi-million-dollar home in Malibu, California, intended to be a practically ideal reproduction of Fred and Wilma's stone cavern home. All things considered, the fashioners nailed it. Both the all-around seem as though they genuinely were made for a prompt music, present-day Stone Age family. The lopsided, wavy furnishings, windows, and dividers seem as though they were gradually shaped by geologic cycles. In spite of the fact that the spot would make unquestionably a fun-themed lodging for an evening or two. Going through many years of your time on Earth there doesn't sound Dino Verman. Indeed, it sounds Petroble.